My goodness, really good stuff from, a lot of the teams in there. Two things that I would like to touch on is kudos bringing the Elephants to celebrate after scoring, and also that dummy run from Jadon Sancho. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of things in there that you liked as well. Let me introduce my guest. First off is Susu Graham. Yeah, man.
You say my name is like you don't know my name.
No,
you hesitated.
No, I just wanted to do something. You know what we did on the scorecard? The intro. Yeah, but I'm fat. So second is also my colleague on the Channel 1 Sports, the Xiao Jamin. Yeah, good to see you. First show of the year.
Good to see you.
Charlie,
You're looking refreshed.
I want to say
Oh,
something.
yeah.
Charlie, have you seen Yao's?
The Christmas break was good to me.
Yeah,
No.
exactly. Look at his
See, let's talk about Yao's. Have you seen it?
It's okay.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us. This is our first show of the year, 2025, of course, the Premier League preview show. Guys, just let's start off the conversation with the best team for you so far. I just said in my intro that if you are to end the league now, if the league ends today, Liverpool are obviously title winners. Nottingham Forest, I believe, second on the table, Arsenal, and Chelsea in the mix, Manchester City. Just quick thoughts on what you've seen so far.
I mean,
with the best teams.
Best team obviously is the team that's top of the table, Liverpool. So when I think to make it more interesting, let's talk about the team that has kind of performed the best given what they've been given. And I'll say that's obviously Nottingham Forest, because if you said Nottingham Forest would be even in the top half of the season halfway, a lot of people would have looked at you like, okay, that's ambitious. If you said, okay, they'll be challenging for the Champions League, you say, I'm
not sure any of us predicted Nottingham Forest will be in the top four.
The fact that I believe they are second right now.
Yeah, second.
I'm not looking at it. The fact that they are second right now is testament to the good work they are doing, the results they are getting, the performances of some of their players. We always give a special shout out to Elliot Anderson, Morgan Gibbs-White, Elanga, Hudson-Odoi, Chris Wood, Murillo, Milenkovic. Those guys have really they've raised their level, because these are players, a lot of them, you think, okay, these guys are decent, they can do a job. They are good players, but they are not great players. So they are not the type of players you expect to be carrying a team to second. But here they are doing it. So a lot of credit to them. They've been fantastic.
Yeah, I'll agree with you on this one. Nottingham Forest.
Nottingham Forest.
Yeah.
The best team for you.
Yeah, the best team for me.
Not Liverpool under Arne Slot. His first season.
No, because with Liverpool,
they started last season the same way. They flew to the top of the table last season as well, and then they fell off later.
Yeah.
So and on top of that, even in the lead up to the season, we all had Liverpool in the top four, despite the fact that Jurgen Klopp had left. And so seeing them move from the top four and probably the top three to the number one position is not too surprising. But to have Nottingham Forest that I watched our preseason picks, and I picked Nottingham Forest as one of the clubs to get relegated. I'm pretty sure a lot of people also did same. And to have them move from that level to not even a mid-table placement to a top three placement, yes, they have to be the best team so far in the season. Yeah, I have to agree with you on this one.
So just to add to that, think of it this way. If you were to look at their preseason position and their position and you were to do plus, Nottingham Forest probably be like at least plus 10.
Yeah.
Because even if you said they will be 12, they are being ambitious for them.
Yeah.
So it's probably closer to plus 13, whereas Liverpool is at best plus 3.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone had Liverpool finishing less than 4th. You see,
Exactly.
so that's why we are saying, if you think about it that way, the plus 12 or whatever is
it's just about expectations, because expectation can determine a lot of the outcome of a certain issue. So, for instance, Erik ten Hag, one of the reasons why he got sacked was because he wasn't meeting expectations, because his team was expected to really kick on in his third season, now that he had full control of that team and he had brought in a lot of players that he wanted. And so the expectation weren't being met, and that's why one of the reasons why he got kicked out. Nottingham Forest, the expectations were very, very low, and to see them go this high, they've defied a lot of odds and they defied a lot of expectations, and so definitely they will have to be the best team so far in the Premier League.
So let's stay a bit longer on Forest. This time around, I want us to talk about your manager, Nuno Espirito Santo. A lot of Premier League experience. We saw him at Wolves. He went to Spurs. It didn't work too well for him. He's now with Forest. I listened to Forest podcast where some of the fans think that they can actually go on and win the title because you look at Liverpool's the way they play, especially with that loss in the Carabao Cup and some of the games, the 2-2 draw to they play. The Forest faithfuls actually think that they can capitalize on the cracks in that Liverpool team, and who knows, win the title.
Are they playing on Tuesday?
Yes,
I believe so. We'll see.
This weekend is for the FA Cup.
We'll see if they are right when they play on Tuesday. But look, the truth is, where Forest at, I think this favours them. Because in the sense that they only have the FA Cup and the league to worry about. Liverpool still are in the Carabao Cup.
Competitions.
Exactly. They still have their second leg against Spurs. You've lost the first leg, so there's extra pressure on you to win the second leg. FA Cup is there. You have 2 Champions League games in January before the knockout round to come. So there's a lot of games coming. And you are wondering what happened. What if Salah gets injured? Because at this point, I believe Salah has about 60% of their goals and assists.
Yeah, they scored this season.
Exactly. If Salah gets injured, you are wondering where their goals come from. If Gravenberch gets hurt, how does the midfield look? Who comes in? Because it seems he doesn't trust Endo. We are seeing Curtis Jones playing more as a number 10. So who's going to partner McAllister in that midfield if one of them gets injured? And what if Van Dijk gets hurt? And we're looking at the Trent situation. Where is his head going to be? So there's a lot of variables with Liverpool that makes you think that they can crack. It's not necessarily going to happen. It's not like, oh, because of all these things. But there's a lot of possibilities that you're looking at like, can they, there's questions to be asked. That's what makes this interesting. In Nottingham Forest situation, okay, even if they regress to the mean, they'll still have a good season.
Yeah.
They are not too bothered. But
So what would be a good season for you? That's if they drop out of top 4. They finish 5th, it's okay?
I think it would be disappointing at this point if they don't
If they drop
at least
out of
get
it.
into Europe.
Okay.
Not necessarily top 4. If they get into Europe, I think it would be still a successful season. But if they fall so low that they end up finishing maybe 11th or 12th or something, that would be very disappointing because like you start so well, 37 points, and then maybe you end up with 50
that would be
points
some
or something.
horrible run.
Exactly.
You're now second on the table and then you go on some 10 games losing streak. And then you're back to...
Maybe you win 3 out of 10, there's a few draws in here. It can happen.
Yeah.
But you see, that would be disappointing if they don't at least get into Europe. I was listening to a podcast as well. A few Nottingham Forest fans, they said, look, where they are now, Europe is the minimum they should be aiming for. Like, they have to get into Europe because going this far so soon, at least get the Europe. It doesn't have to be the Champions League, even if it's the Conference League. It can be interesting for them because you saw West Ham go in the Conference League, have a good run and win it. That meant a lot to the West Ham fans. If Nottingham Forest can do the same, and their owner has won the Europa Conference League already with Olympiacos, so maybe he knows what he's doing there. So,
just match this for me. Chelsea and Arsenal. Just start off with Chelsea. Yeah. Their manager is on record to have said several occasions that they are not in a title race, and clearly when they went on that 4 game winless run, he said, I told you guys that I'm not in the title race. The fans themselves think that it's really disappointing to go on that run because they thought that, look, we could have given ourselves a good shot competing for the title. Just your thoughts on what Maresca has done in his first season?
I think he's done very well. Looking at all the chaos that he had to deal with at the start of the season, I love the fact that he was quite straightforward and implemented his vision quite early. Because he came in, told the whole world that I don't want Ben Chilwell, he's not my guy. He pretty much ostracized them and ostracized some players too, Raheem Sterling, all those guys. And he made it very clear the players that he wanted to work with. Made it very clear these are the players I'll work with when it comes to the Premier League. These are the players I'll work with when it comes to the Conference League. Carabao Cup, especially in the early stages, and the Nicholas Jacksons, Cole Palmers. I'll work with those guys when it comes to the Premier League, and a little bit with the FA Cup. And so I've been impressed with how he's handled the personnel, how his tactics have seeped into this Chelsea team, always emphasizing the points that the goalkeeper needs to be more or less the starting point of the attack.
One who starts the attack.
Playing out from the back. It's just that, look, be careful what you wish for because it might just come true. He constantly saying, we are not title contenders. At some
Oh,
point,
you think that he jinxed it?
I think
He jinxed it.
I think he jinxed it a little bit
Yeah,
because
I think he as a manager, should sound a bit more confident.
Yeah.
I think he jinxed it a little bit because.
But would you not say,
look
well,
at the games they drew and they lost points?
Yeah,
They were winnable games.
He probably was taking some bits of pressure from the players.
No, you see,
Because I saw not to catch you, I saw this
sorry.
very interesting stats where they said the youngest Premier League team to ever go on a very good run was Leeds back in 2003. They didn't even win the league.
Yep.
And so if Chelsea wins it, it's
Unprecedented.
big achievement for the Blues. Given the way he came in and then he took charge of the team, bloated squad, that kind of thing, playing.
But
team
you can be a title contender for, let's say, 3/4 of the season and end up finishing 3rd or 4th.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with that.
That's what Liverpool did last season.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Then you build on.
Then you build on it for the upcoming season. There's nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
But to be, we weren't even halfway through the season when this whole we are not title contenders talk started coming in. Yeah, you don't need to say it. I mean, people say we are title contenders, and they look the part.
But
The way they play.
okay, if you were Maresca,
Yes.
and that question was thrown to you, how would you have answered it?
I'll tell you how I answered.
How would you have? Let me hear from you first.
We are playing we are playing out this campaign as best as we can, and wherever we end up finishing, as long as we qualify for Europe,
Okay.
yes, we will take it.
So the diplomatic answers.
Yes,
I would have said that considering our position in the table, we are title contenders whether we like it or not. So we just have to continue playing our best and hope for the best result. If we win the title, that's amazing. If we don't, that wasn't our aim at the beginning of the season. But if the title is on offer, we'll do our best to win it.
just take a neutral
That's how
stance.
you present that, look, this is not our aim. Our aim is not, we are not here to win
Yeah.
it. But if the title is there to be won, we will do our best to win it. This we are not title contenders. It even signals to the players that there's some room for error. You can relax. That's the psychology I'm getting from it. Because if let's say you are supposed to write some articles for our website, right? And your aim is 10 and you write 7, your boss like, oh, it's fine. You are going to stop writing 10,
okay.
you start writing 7. That's just how it is.
I get a point. So I mean, so you two not too impressed with what Maresca
I just
was
don't
doing.
like how you handled it. I understand.
If it's a one-off,
Yeah, but he kept on saying it.
He kept on saying it.
Yeah.
If it's
And
a
even
one-off, no problem.
3 players of that team jumped onto his conversation.
Oh,
So you had Noni
a
Madueke,
lot.
Levi Colwell, Nicholas Jackson, Cole Palmer.
There were more than 3. There were at least 5.
Well,
But I do understand that these are young players.
Yes.
They don't put pressure on them.
Yeah.
But you're not putting pressure on them by saying, let's do our best. If we win, it's great.
Susu is an AC Milan fan. Look at the time AC Milan won it. Very young squad.
In fact, I'll tell you right now, I didn't expect us to win.
Exactly.
win it.
And he kept
Great.
on saying that it came a year than expected. But look at how Pioli handled that issue. You don't come out and say, oh yeah, we are not title
And
contenders.
in fact, they weren't even in the lead.
That's a
Until,
wrong
they didn't
approach.
even take the lead in the table until, was it like game week 36 or 35?
yeah, before they came into the
And
party.
before
yeah.
they now went to,
So
because
they were hanging in
they were
there.
just winning.
Okay, guys, just quick thoughts on Arsenal's season under Arteta. Some fans actually think that Arteta is now becoming the problem in that team. He's lost Saka. Did not get an
Nwaneri.
out-and-out striker, and Nwaneri is also out. So just quick thoughts on where you think they can finish.
I mean, I still believe they can win the title. I just don't think they will win the title. I think Arteta is to blame in the sense of recruitment, the players you buy. Because this summer, why buy Mikel Merino? I think he's a decent player. But looking at the issues your team has had, why not buy a left winger? Why not buy a striker? Because you're looking at Gabriel Jesus. He's not really scoring. Okay, Kai Havertz has started scoring. Fine. So you decide that, okay, Kai Havertz is your answer in strike. Still, left wing, Martinelli has not performed. Why won't you upgrade that position? Why are you not thinking about a more creative player? Because Mikel Merino is a very, what's the word I'm looking for? He's very basic in the sense the things he does. He's very good in the
Elementary.
air, solid. No, he's a good player, but like he doesn't raise your level. I look at Mikel Merino, how does he raise your level? I look at Calafiori, how does he raise your level? They are good players, but I don't see them taking their team to the next level because they are not problem positions.
Okay.
In the sense that if you look at even the way their team was, you could have played Jurgen Timber at left back. He's played there sometimes this season. You still have Ben White, who's been good at right back. You still have Tomiyasu, who's decent when he plays. Even Luis Kelly has now come into the team and showing that maybe did we really need to buy a left back? I know those things sometimes you can't predict them, but I'm just saying that when you are making signings, you are spending a lot of money. You want a signing that you take you to the next step, especially when you are nearly there. Their signings were more like we are consolidating our position. They were good signings in the sense that they are good players, but they didn't raise the level of the team.
Okay.
It just made sure that the team was less likely to dip.
So still problem not solved.
Yeah, problem not solved. So I felt like they need a few more goals, a bit more creativity. So if they are focused on their left wing and gone all out on someone, maybe Rafa Leao, Kvaratskhelia, who are here and will leave Napoli in January and all that kind of stuff. If you have bought one of those type of players, or even Nico Williams, I'm not saying that they should have bought any of those players. I'm just saying that the type of player they should have bought is a player that is a game changer, another game winner. Those players they bought are not game winners in the same sense. So while I think they are good players and they are good for the squad, I don't think the squad was at that point that you can consolidate. If they had won the title last season and he bought those players, I would have been more okay with it. Because like, okay, you've won the title, you want to make sure that there's better backups, better squad options. Okay. Fine. But when you don't win the title, I think yourself, why didn't you win the title? What can we do to take the next step? And I just don't feel that those players were next step players.
Yeah, just quick thoughts on that.
Yes,
we talk about the West team.
They've underperformed this season, and I've loved the evolution of Arteta, doing or moving away from the whole Pep acolyte talk, the kind of things that he did.
He's in his 6th season.
Yes, I've loved the where he's really recognized that yes, I can't be all open in order to win a title, and that's what cost him the I believe last 2 seasons where Man City moved over to Emirates, beat them by 4-1, and pretty much ended their title campaign. And now he's more defensive oriented. But if you are going to be defensive oriented, then you need that kind of striker who can help you out to get that goal. Then you can back it up by defending your way to ensure that you get the win. And that for me is the biggest thing that he has missed out. He needed to get a striker, an out-and-out striker, Alexander Isak.
I want to be fair to him. Like Havertz was scoring a lot last season.
Yeah, but
so
the point
let's
is,
be fair to him.
But the point is, between Havertz and Isak, there's a clear difference. Isak is the modern day kind of striker.
That's an out-and-out striker for you.
Out-and-out striker is a throwback kind of striker, and he can also play as a modern day striker. Play along the forward line, play on the left side, play on the right side, and can play as even a number 10. So in that situation, why don't you go all out and get a guy like that? Bringing in Merino, I think is fine, because at the end of the day, you weren't too sure about Thomas Partey's health status anyway, and his availability. So if you bring in Merino, yes, it's fine. But at the end of the day, you needed to address that position, and he didn't.
Okay. Interesting thoughts by Yaya Jeminta and also Susugram. We're taking a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk about the West teams of the season so far. This is still Premier League preview on Channel 1 TV. My name is Gabi Ofe, doing this with Susugram and Yaya Jeminta. We're back after this.